In this video, I'm going to be telling you why I'm sending these back to Nike. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to 40 Runs. Now, have you checked out the Long Run podcast? You can get it on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, Google, that sort of stuff. Check out in the description, you can get a link. It's a weekly podcast for everyday runners. It's quite a light-hearted look at the running world, what's going on, but make sure you check it out. Right, so Streakfly, Nike Streakfly. Why am I sending them back? Let's get stuck in. Okay, people, so the Nike Streakfly. Now, we've done a few videos on this. Check them out. And there's loads on YouTube now. And I wanted to come back because I'm sending these back. And Toby's told me that apparently with Nike, you can send stuff back even though it's like chewed up and spat out. So we'll see if that works out over the next couple of weeks. But I wanted to come back to you because this is not working out for me. And I wanted to explain why. So stats and features-ish, we'll just do that very quickly. ZoomX, full-length ZoomX, little, I won't call it a plate, but there's a little insert TPU in there to help with the transition. Got a belly there, sort of atom knit-ish upper. Great racing tongue that's stitched into about here. A little bit of padding on the collar, and that's about it. There is some structure around the toe, down the lateral side as well, just to add a little bit of structure to the upper, but it's very much a racing flat feel. You've got a great outsole. This thing was great on the Chelmsford Park run. If you've not seen the video, check it out. It was like a really muddy, grassy area. This thing was awesome in those conditions. And you've got the exposed ZoomX. It's as light as a feather. It's 6.65 ounces in my UK 9.5. Fits true to size-ish. It's a little bit long, but I wouldn't want to go down to a 9 in this because then it would be too tight. It's not the lightest shoe I own. That goes to the Skechers Speed Elite, but it's not far off of that. I think that's about it. Yeah, it's a 5K, 10K shoe from Nike. Yeah, stats and features done. So the problem I have with the shoe is that because of the way I strike and I run, right, and this is the thing. This is why it's really important, okay, to get as many views and opinions as possible, right? Because it depends how you run and how you're built as a runner. Now, it's great if you're one of these elites and fast people and all this sort of stuff that runs consistently on their toes and you've got great form and all that sort of stuff. That's awesome, right? But I'm an everyday runner. I don't have a particularly good form in terms of my running. I used to be a prolific heel striker and I transitioned more towards the front of the foot. I would say I strike about here now in terms of when I'm mostly running. Obviously, if I'm really gunning it, I am on my toes and I'm pushing hard and I'm, you know, looking at my form. But a lot of the time I'm here and then obviously a lazy eye I shift backwards. And I've just found the shoe is a little bit too flat for me. Now, what do you mean by flat? Well, if you've got like a flatter feeling shoe, you're tending more to run on your toes. And what that tends to mean is that you're transitioning more to that forward motion and that's pulling a lot on your calves. And I found that my calves this week in particular they felt bruised. And it's down to this. Because of how soft it is and how much it's pushing me to the front of the shoe to get away from, you know, the sort of, I don't know, what's the best way to describe it? Yeah, it's just forcing me more to run on my toes, the way the setup of the shoe is. And that is just giving me problems in my calves. Now, that's not going to be a problem for some people, and that will be for others. If you are a big heel striker, then you may suffer the same thing. And if you are going to transition, like I say, to more of a 4-foot strike, you're going to have to do that over time and build some resistance in your muscles and build the strength in those muscles because it will kill you, which is what it's done to me. Now, I bought the shoe as a turbo, Nike Pegasus Turbo 2 kind of idea. I was hoping that this is what this would actually come out like a fast daily trainer along them lines. And it's not really worked out like that either because of the pull on my calf muscles. Now, there's nothing wrong with the shoe if it works for you. And that's the key to this, right? This is undoubtedly a fast shoe for some people, but for everyday runner like me, it's not working. And there's no point me having a shoe that I bought to sort of go along that Turbo 2 lines, the Pegasus Turbo 2 lines, if it's not working. Why? Because I've got the Takumi Sen 8, which works perfectly for me. The Light Strike Pro is firmer, so I don't feel like I am more on my toes in the shoe. So that 5K distance is covered off here. And if I want to do those sort of intervals, those faster paced training runs, I've got the Takumi Sen in my arsenal. And I was sort of hoping that this would be like kept for those like faster tempo sessions, but then this would be able to use for those sort of training runs as well, so the two would actually complement each other. Now the Takumi Sen is the wrong price, £160, don't pay that for this. I mean, I paid, I think, I said it in the video, was it £130? I can't remember, so that's probably where the value is in the shoe. At £135, this is, you know, good money. I still appreciate £135 is a lot of money, but £135 to me is a little bit more justifiable than £160. But the Takumi Sen is fitting that hole that I wanted for speed work. The Nike Pegasus Turbo 2 sort of hole in my rotation has actually been filled, you're going to love this, by the Saucony Endorphin Pro and Pro 2. I've got 2 pairs of those and I've been using those. So those, you know, those goal pace longer runs, I've been using the Pro, and the Pro's just been becoming more of a, which is not designed for more of an everyday shoe. And that's the thing with running shoes, right? It's how you use them. I've said this before, I did it on the Nike Miler video. The Nike Miler works for me because I use it for coaching and stuff like that. So it's how you use the shoes. And this is the thing, that's why it's so cool about running shoes. It's all personal opinion and what works for you. But the bottom line is, unfortunately, the Streakfly just hasn't worked out for me.